Welcome to Impact. I'm Nick Barber, your host. Coming up this week on our show, we'll be spotlighting architectural photographer Randall Perry. And just in time for the summer season, we'll be discussing fire prevention techniques with Chief Michael Delarocco from the Schenectady Fire Department. And also for your moms and dads that are looking for a great science summer camp, we'll discuss the CSI summer camp at Cobleskill University. And then finally, with the recent ballroom dance craze sweeping the country, we're going to show you how you can learn those dance moves at the Arthur Murray Dance Studio locally. So stay tuned. Now we have our Science and Education segment. Barbara Brabetz is our host, and she'll be interviewing Dr. Lynda McMaster-Schuyler. Dr. McMaster-Schuyler is a professor at Cobleskill College, and she'll be talking about the summer science camp at Cobleskill this summer, and specifically about the CSI program, a very hot topic and a very popular college subject. So let's watch.
Welcome to the Science and Education segment on Impact. I'm Barbara Brabetz. My guest today is Dr. Lynda McMaster-Schuyler, full professor at SUNY Cobleskill, who's here to talk about CSI camps and summer opportunities for our children in the sciences. Lynda, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Barbara.
It's great to have you here. Summer's right around the corner.
It is.
And parents are thinking, uh-oh, summer's right around the corner. If you have a child who's interested in science and perhaps you don't want to just put them in front of the video game for the summer, there are opportunities out there throughout the Capital Region for children to do something different, say.
Multiple opportunities. At SUNY Cobleskill, we have several camps going on, one of which is Crime Scene Investigation Camp.
It's CSI camp.
CSI, and we're ready to do it. We're looking at the science behind the hype, Barbara.
Oh.
So you know on TV that's a very popular subject, and everybody thinks that you solve a crime in an hour.
Or at least 55 minutes with commercials.
Exactly, exactly. And you can't. So what we try to do is make it fun for the students. We bring them in early on a Monday morning. They come right upon a crime scene. They learn how to secure the crime scene, how to make pictures of the crime scene, take photographs of the crime scene. And then we spend the rest of the week trying to solve the crime.
So this is kind of a takeoff on what we see on TV, that kind of glitzy, soundtrack-ridden CSI stuff.
Right,
but
all the glamour.
Yeah, but this is the real nitty-gritty, isn't it?
This truly is, and this is learning the science behind the hype. They are actually taught by the state troopers who volunteer their time how to secure a crime scene, how to make the proper diagrams, how to take measurements, how to collect evidence at the crime scene.
And they work in groups, so they learn these team building skills as well, and they're not groups of necessarily their friends. These are people coming from all over. So where do your students come from for this camp?
Well, actually, they do come from all over. They come from as far as California. We have several that come from New Jersey, a couple from Canada, some from Massachusetts, Connecticut, and then some from the local capital region.
So what options do students have? Can they stay there all week? If they're here in the capital region, should they go as a day camper? What are the options?
They have both options this year. They can stay overnight, and then we have overnight activities and evening activities, or they can come for the day. The day starts at 9, ends at 5, and of course overnight campers will come in on Sunday, July 1st, and then they'll all be leaving on Friday, July 6th.
So it's a week of fun, whether it's parsed up in day camp or if they're at the overnight camp, all one group. What age students are you looking to attract to camp?
We will accept anyone who's going into 8th grade or into 12th grade. So it's a wide range of ages, but we found in the past that it works well together.
So middle schoolers can really, they could be hanging out with senior high schoolers and really build that team dynamic that's so important in life.
Absolutely, and that's one of the wonderful things about this is that they have to work together to solve the crime. So they have to depend on each other.
Now, you were telling me a little bit about last year's crime scene camp. We have some shots that we're going to show the crew of what happened at last year's camp. But tell the audience what the crime scene really was. I mean, this was real.
Well, yes, it was. And every year I seem to get bigger and bigger, and I've got the chief of police on my campus telling me, all right, Lynda, you have to hold back this year. We actually had a car donated last year, and we were able to take it on one of our off-campus areas, and we were able to burn it. We were able to shoot it with different caliber pistols, and then we had our 2 bodies that were found in the trunk of the car.
And so those bodies were thankfully not donated. They were fake.
No, they were fake bodies. And we had blood on the bodies, and we had hair fibers, and there was lots of broken glass, and there were cartridges. So there was a lot of evidence to collect at the scene.
So the students collect up the evidence. They package it up, they learn how to document evidence collection, and then the fun really starts. They have these workshops with experts in the field. So what types of things do they learn?
Well, one of the favorite ones, of course, is the blood splatter workshop. And Barb, I have to put a plug in for you. You do a great job on that.
I spatter blood well, thank you.
You really do. And they love to drip the blood, but the thing they're looking for is the angle at which it drops. So you could tell if someone were shot and then they were moving, or you could tell if it's a pool of blood, which is very important in determining how the crime may have been committed. We do a ballistics workshop. We will look at, say, for instance, last year there was broken glass at the scene. So we wanted to look at the holes in the windshield of the car. We wanted to know what angles that shot may have been coming from, so they could determine last year, for instance, that there were 2 shots that were fired, came from 2 different angles, and turns out came from 2 different guns.
So at the end, they've collected all this evidence, but just like on that glitzy show and in real life too, they have to present it to a jury. How does that all work out?
Well, they work very hard all week. I must say in this camp, they are busy all the time. There's very little downtime. And what they'll do is by the time Friday morning comes around, I brief them every morning. And they're briefed based on the questions they ask in their group. So if the group is going really well and they ask a lot of good questions, they're going to get a lot more information than another group who doesn't ask the right questions. So by Friday morning, they put it all together. They think they have a scenario of what may have happened. And I have a person who acts as my DA, my district attorney, who is an attorney, and she tells them how you put a case together, how you look at the evidence, how can you prove it. And then we have someone who plays the judge, and she will then ask the questions, what do you have, who are you bringing, who do you think is the person responsible, what do you think happened here? And if it's good enough, the grand jury will say, okay, I think we'll bring it to trial. Or, no, you don't have enough evidence.
And who's on that grand jury?
The parents. All the parents.
Perfect. So they get to see pretty much the culmination of all that work all week, and then actually to get to be a part of the process. So that's terrific. For more information, if there's a parent out there, grandparent out there, a kid out there who's saying, geez, this is really something I want to do. You said it was July
1st through the 6th with day and overnight options.
Okay, and for more information?
They should go to the State University of New York Cobleskill website, which is www.sunycobleskill.edu.
It's on the web page.
It's on the web page, the home page. They just need to go to summer camps, click on that, and they'll see all the other camps that are also being offered in addition to CSI.
And we're going to provide that here on the screen so parents can write that down if they need to. What other options do you have there? I know that CSI camp isn't the only game in town. We've got other stuff coming up at Cobleskill and in the general area.
Well, they have equine camps going on for students in ages, I believe, 5 through 18, learning how to ride.
Okay.
We've got a cybercrime camp for students who are very interested in looking at computer crimes and internet crimes. That will be going on the same week as CSI camp is going on.
That's an interesting dynamic.
Yeah, that'll be fun. And this will be the 2nd year for that.
And coming up in early June, I think we have, there's a large animal institute that's coming out.
Yes.
That's aimed at who?
Well, you know, that's aimed at, it could be college students, it could be people who own farms that want to get a little more in-depth experience with different kinds of animals. There's going to be a week for specifically equine, horses. There'll be a week for bovine, and I believe there's going to be a week for goats and sheep. And they'll be looking at diseases, care, handling, safety, things like this, quite in-depth.
So if somebody out there, for example, may be interested in vet school but doesn't really have that large animal experience, this could give them the flexibility of knowing whether they are comfortable around large animals and give them that extra added something prior to thinking about going to vet school.
Absolutely, and many times they need some large animal experience just to be qualified to go to vet school.
There's some other opportunities that may not be science related, but are certainly relevant for today, happening in Schoharie County. Another one is Girls' Day Out.
Yes, we're having a program, Girls' Day Out, which is going to concentrate on 7th grade girls, and the topic will be bullying and teen violence, which is a very disconcerting topic today.
Well, suicide is certainly an issue, and bullying that then results in suicide is something that we all want to prevent. So for more information, how could someone find out more?
Well, simply call 518-254-3424, and they will get additional information about this program.
And that's Girls' Day Out, Schoharie
Girls'
County.
Day Out, Schoharie County.
Terrific. One last piece before we go, because we're running out of time. You're taking a study group this summer somewhere really cool. What's that about?
Well, we're doing an international course on ethics of science, medicine, and technology, only we're going to be going to Canada for 3 weeks.
So are Canadian ethics any different than U.S. ethics?
Well, we're going to find out, and especially in the medical system, we're going to take a look at that.
That's good.
And so I have 10 students that are going to be participating in this, and we're going to be traveling throughout the eastern part of Canada. And I have a lot of guest speakers up there that are going to be working with us, and it's going to be fun.
Well, Lynda, it sounds like your job is just a blast that you get to do these things. So really appreciate you coming in. And again, check out the SUNY.edu website for more information on all these things.
Thank you, Barbara.
You're welcome. You've been watching the Science and Education segment on Impact. Thanks for watching.
Proctors, bringing the best in arts, education, and entertainment.